Alright, y'all. So let's get into this topic of mental health. So, mental health is a relevant topic for me, and it has always been a relevant topic for me in my life, especially around the age of like 18. I'd say 16 too, actually. Around the age of, 14, actually, birth, honestly. Mental health has always been a very prominent theme in my life, especially having family members who suffer from depression and anxiety. So, how do I get into this? Well, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder when I was 18 years old. What that is a disorder where you're kind of always nervous and you don't really know why. There's not really a specific thing. You're just kind of worried about everything. You're worried about the worst possible thing that can happen in the next 2 minutes. I always kind of I have this thing called worst case scenario brain, where I have this part of my brain that always imagines the worst possible thing that can happen to me, and I do that in a lot of situations, and it causes a lot of anxiety because I'm always, when I'm sitting in the passenger side and somebody else is driving, because I'm not in control of the car, I'm worried about, the control of the other person, how well they can control the car. So I'm worried about getting into a car accident, and this is a reoccurring thing. We're just kind of more fearful than the average person. We worry more than the average person. So if you find that you're always nervous and you really don't know why, you should get that checked out. You might have GAD. Because of GAD, I have panic attacks, which is something that didn't really happen to me until I was about 19 or 20. And I feel like it was just because of all the changes that was occurring in my life, going off to college. And also I have social anxiety. So really big crowds make me nervous. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and describe this time when I was at work, which happened the day before yesterday, when I had this full-on panic attack, and it was very surprising to me. I've had panic attacks in the past, but not like this. Like, this one was severe. It was like one of those panic attacks where I just felt like I was not in control of my body, of my mind. It was just like I just felt that I had no control, and it was crazy, and it was one of those moments where I was good at first, and then all of a sudden I wasn't. All of a sudden my heart is racing really really fast, and I'm dizzy and I'm nauseous, and I'm just feeling a little disoriented, and I'm like I need to get out of here. I was feeling really claustrophobic. So I just started to feel a little bit funny. I was like, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I'm not feeling really good. I said to, my manager that I was working with, I work retail. I was already nervous anyways because I just be nervous. I'm like, I'm just a nervous person. So I was nervous, and I just started to feel really weird, And I told my manager, and she saw that I was like about to freak out or whatever, and then she was like, she reached her hand out to me, and she was like, hold my hand. And then she tried to like have this talk with me in the middle of this freaking crowd. It's all these people around, and she tried to have this talk with me, and I'm like, that's embarrassing. Like, I don't want to have a whole ass conversation with you about my panic attack or why I'm freaking out in the midst of all this chaos. I'm not trying to have you give me this whole heart to heart right now while I'm freaking out. It only makes it worse, And so I was just like, I can't do this right now. I need to be alone. So I ran to the back. Really, my crazy ass is about to run out of the freaking store. And she told me to go the other way, go to the back, go to the break room. Because I was just so like out of my mind that I was about to literally leave the store. Instead of go to the break room. So she was like, no, go this way. So I went to the break room, and I went back there, and I felt better because I was alone and there was nobody all up in my personal space. So I just I stayed back there for a while, and I just kind of had a blank moment where I didn't really feel anything. It was just silence. My thoughts weren't moving too fast or anything. It was just like nothing. Like, I wasn't thinking about anything. It was just like silence, which I feel like that my brain did that for me because I needed that. After that, I stayed there for a little while, and then my manager came back there. She was like, are you alright? Do you want some water? And then I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she was like, okay, we need you back out on the floor, so, give you a few more minutes, but you need to be back out on the floor. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, of course, you don't really care about how I'm feeling. You just want to use me, to be, this retail slave. So I went back out on the floor, and I thought I could do it. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I felt a little bit dizzy, a little lightheaded, but I was like, I'm good. So I went back out there, and I just, she was like, you want to just straighten, lotions and perfumes so that you don't have to interact with the customers. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I was just still in a haze, so I really didn't know what I wanted or how I really felt. So I was just like, I don't really know what I want to do. So she's like, okay, I'm just going to put you in lotions and perfumes. So she put me there, and I was doing that, and I felt sad, honestly. And so I guess she noticed I looked kind of sad or whatever. I don't really like the pity thing, so a lot of times I'll try not to look sad even when I am. I was fixing the lotions and perfumes and everything, and I was just doing it, and then all of a sudden I started to feel the symptoms again, and it just got bad. And the whole room was just like, I just felt like I wasn't there. Like, I felt like I was too present, but not present at the same time. It was like I was feeling just everything and nothing, and it was just this weird experience. So I started to get really lightheaded, and my vision started to blur, and my eyes kept doing like this, like closing really, like I kept clamping my eyes down like this, and I couldn't like really open my eyes the other way. My vision was blurring, and I felt lightheaded and nauseous, and I felt my face just felt like it was vibrating, but it was numb at the same time. It was weird. I had never felt this before in my life. Mind you, I've had a couple of panic attacks before, but it was nothing like this. It was just like hyperventilating and freaking out or whatever. But it wasn't like this. Like, this felt like the other times when I had panic attacks, I felt that I had a little more control, that I could actually like kind of reel it in and stop it. But this, I had no control. It was just like my body was doing something and my mind didn't know what was happening. It was like, stop, wait, what are you doing? Hold on, wait. And it just, my body was just doing whatever it wanted to do. And I didn't understand it. It was like when you're sick, and you can't help that you're sick. It was like I felt physically sick. And so I just started leaning on the area where the perfumes and stuff was. I started leaning on the stand like this, and I was like, oh, I just started feeling sick, and I just leaning on it, and I just tried. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be all right. Let's just keep pushing. And so I kept, trying to do it like a dumbass. I kept trying to straighten the lotions and perfumes, even though I was feeling like I was going to freaking lose my mind. I kept at it, and I felt like that made it worse. So I eventually I had to lean on the thing, and I just could not focus, and a customer came up to me, and she was like, are you okay? And I really couldn't look at her. Like, my eyes was closed, and I couldn't look at her. And I was like, I shook my head because I really didn't want to like talk. I couldn't really talk. And she's like, do you want me to go get the manager? And I shook my head because I couldn't really talk. So she went to get the manager, and that's when, as soon as she left, like, that's when it all happened. Like, I slid down onto the post, onto the floor. I lost all oxygen. Like, I could not breathe at all. It was like, I have asthma, so it was kind of like having an asthma attack, except that asthma attacks, you kind of build up to having an asthma attack. You slowly but surely you lose your breath. Instead of that, it was like instantly losing my breath. It was like... It was like that, like I was drowning above water. Like, having an asthma attack feels like you're drowning above water, but this was just like somebody just snatched the breath out of me, and I was just, and I just could not breathe, and it was just terrible. It was terrible. My eyes were shut, and I was and it was embarrassing, y'all, like so embarrassing. But this is, mind you, this is in the middle of a store, okay, like right there. I'm at work in my work clothes and with my little belt on, with the little walkie-talkie and thingy, and I'm on the floor gasping for air with my eyes shut. It's just awful, okay? And when it's all over, I feel embarrassed, and so my manager comes out there, and she was like, oh, what's going on? And I was like, and I just like finally was able to breathe, and I was like and I started crying after that. Like, as soon as I was like, got the air out, I started crying. As soon as I let my breath out, I was like, I don't know. And I was crying and everything. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know. And so she was like, go to the back. And so I ran to the back, y'all. Ran to the back because I felt embarrassed. So I ran to the back, and then I just cried, and cried and cried and cried. I didn't cry immediately, but it was just like I had a moment of like embarrassment, just feeling embarrassed. So I just sat there, and then I was waiting for the tears to come because I knew I probably would eventually cry. But it was one of those things where I couldn't cry right away. But then eventually I sat there for a minute, and then the tears just came out, and I just started crying a lot, and crying and crying and crying and crying and crying, and I just felt really sad. And one of the triggers was the crowd, but also I feel that on a deeper level, the trigger was that I'm in a city that I don't want to be in. So if I get emotional, forgive me, but I was just thinking, I'm tired of doing this to myself, working these jobs that don't reach up to my true potential. I'm not meant to sell people bras, I'm not meant to work retail for the rest of my life. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, I love to act, I love to sing, I love to paint and draw. I mean, take a look at this art piece that I did, This is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm meant to do. I'm meant to create art, okay? I'm not meant to sell people stuff that I'm not passionate about and that I don't care about, and sell people credit cards and stuff that I just don't care about. So I was thinking about that before it all happened, and I feel like that it just kind of caught up to me, the depressive thoughts, and I was thinking to myself, why am I doing this? Like I'm tired of working in a place where I have to keep checking my watch, counting down to the time that I leave. I'm tired of doing that. I'm tired of being at these jobs where I'm like, okay, only 30 more minutes till I get off. Like I'm tired of that. And that's the thoughts that I was having. Like, I can't do this anymore. Like, when you work these retail jobs or fast food, they just throw you out there with very little training to no training at all. And then they expect for you to know everything. And how am I supposed to know everything about all these hundreds of bras? Nobody trained me. And then people get agitated with you because you can't answer questions. And it's like, no shit. I can't answer these questions because nobody trained me. So it just got to me. The whole thing. It just got to me. Like, why am I doing this for a little bit of money when I could chase my dreams and do what really makes me happy and get paid much, much, much more money? Because if I really become successful at the things that I'm really good at, which is making music and acting and creating art, then I'd be a millionaire. So why am I working retail? I could do better. You know what I'm saying? And I just get tired of, the whole, when you get a job and then your parent is like, yay, you got a job now. And it's just like, yay, but it's retail. And everyone's like, oh, yay, whoopee, you got a job. You're going on a job interview. Yay, yay, yay. And you're supposed to just ride it out and act like that you're really happy when you're really not. And I'm just tired of pretending that I'm happy when I'm not. And a lot of times at work, I would just act like I'm fine when really I'm always nervous at work because it's a very social environment and I'm kind of an introvert and I'm shy. And so just to always have to just push myself and sell people things and be up in people's spaces and just ask them, do you need help? Do you need help? Do you need a shopping bag? No, 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 no. And just be all up in people's space. Like, it's just not, it's not for me. Okay. If I'm going to be, helping people, can it be with something that I really care about? I don't want to sell people credit cards and bras. I want to really help people if I'm really going to help them. Like, let's talk about mental health together. Like, I'd rather do, like I've made a couple of YouTube interviews with friends and we would talk about real life stuff, and I like doing that. I would like to sit down and have interviews with people talking about their past experiences and their struggles and what they've learned and the best and worst moments in their life, stuff like that. I'm all about that. Not talking about bras, So now I'm at this point in my life where YouTube is like all that I have, along with story writing and poetry and making music and drawing and all those artistic things, which is the things that set my soul on fire, the things that keep me on this earth. YouTube is like the number one thing for me because there's always room to improve. Like whenever I see more subscribers, I'm like, yes, keep it up, Sid, keep it up. And the more subscribers I see and the more comments of people saying, this video really helped me, and thank you, Sydney, and I appreciate what you said about Aquariuses, because Aquariuses are used to being misunderstood and people don't understand me, and I'm glad that I found a video where somebody made me, feel appreciated for being an Aquarius and stuff like that, and it just makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing, but when I'm at retail or working fast food or any of these dank little ass jobs, I don't feel like I'm doing what God intended for me to do. YouTube is I need it. And I just want to make a video being very honest about what YouTube means to me. I'm not just a girl filming videos for the fun of it. I'm really trying to make it happen. I'm really trying to be a successful YouTuber, and I'm gonna be. Regardless of what anybody says about this dream, I'm gonna be a successful YouTuber, and I'm gonna be a successful musician. It's just gonna take some time. And I'm just trying to, pace myself. Some things just need to change. And I can't keep doing the same old things that make me sad and depressed just because it gives me a little bit of money. It's not giving me soul stability. It may give me a smidget of financial stability, but it really doesn't even give me that. So what am I doing this for again? Yeah, it's time to reevaluate your life. So that's my experience, having a panic attack and mental health, and, anybody who struggle with panic attacks and just feeling like they're living a life that they feel they could be living a better life, and just anybody who just feels like that they don't belong, and they're doing things that don't really suit who they really are, and they're putting up a facade and pretending that they're happy when they're not. You're not alone. You're not alone. I'm going through the same thing. I put on a big old happy smile so that I can sell people some dumbass shit that I don't care about, so that I can make a little bit of money. But deep down inside, I have been experiencing some serious depression and some severe anxiety. That very night, after I had the nervous breakdown and everything, I had another panic attack that night, and my legs felt swimmy, and I was laying in bed, and I just felt like I was gonna pass out while I'm laying in bed, and my face did the thing again, and it just happened. And it kept trying to happen over the course of the day after I came home from work. And it just wasn't really a good day. But I'm blessed. My big sister was there while I was crying and venting to her. And my mother, my mother was there to just listen, I guess. So I know that I'm blessed. At least I have a family that cares about me. And I have friends that support me in my YouTube dream. So I'm not completely alone, and my life is not completely bad. It's just that the overall lifestyle that I have for my life right now, it's not working for me. And don't worry, y'all, I'm gonna be all right. I have suicidal thoughts. I've had them recently, but I'm not actually going to ever go through with it, because I know that there are people on this earth who need me. My family, my friends, and people who watch me on YouTube. It will eventually come a time when there will be more people who need me out there, and they're going to need to hear what I have to say, because I'm a healer. And God put me on this earth to heal others and to be healed by others as well. So, yeah, I've been through a lot. And I'm not going anywhere, y'all. I'm going to be living for a very long time. Okay, so like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care of yourself. You can't take care of anybody before you take care of yourself. So, peace out, y'all. I love y'all. And thanks for watching. If you got this far, thank you. I love you. Let's be friends.